who is NAIA?
NAIA is like this girl who used to have a Disney contract and then she came back to the Philippines and now she's shedding off that like Disney persona. She's a bit of a baby girl, she's a bit of a whore, I don't know. Spreading joy, inspiration. We're gonna be unabashed.
In today's episode of Mouthful, we're catching up with Drag Den Philippines' first ever Drag Supreme, the fabulous NAIA who goes by Brian out of drag. Brian entered the drag scene in 2019 at the onset of the pandemic. Nonetheless, he has flourished as a drag artist, living unapologetically and inspiring others along the way. Today, NAIA spreads good vibe through her performances at different clubs around the metro and during drag brunches at a local cafe and restaurant called Butterboy. While NAIA and the other queens were getting ready for the show, I took the opportunity to try some of the items on Butterboy's menu. They are known for having delicious croissants and pastries.
Okay, it's super loud in here, but I love the idea of a drag brunch. It breaks kind of like that stigma that this is something that's only going to happen like really, really late at night. And the food served is actually amazing. I've had some pastries and croissants before, and it's really good. No one really eats croissants like this, but since everyone loves to see cross sections and cross cuts, pulls perfectly, still has that chew that you're looking for. I mean, fresh croissants are always going to be better. Absolutely buttery, and they have sausages, eggs. I mean, it really is a completely different experience. I've seen drag shows before, but it was always smoky, always at night. But I like this kind of like morning vibe. I'm a morning person, so it's absolutely perfect. This is their croissant sandwich with beef caldereta, which is such a strange combination, but I am French Filipino, so it's just kind of like both of my cultures in one bite. Yeah, I mean, come for the show, stay for the show, but also stay for the food.
Before I knew it, I was cheering along with the crowd as the queens came out confidently one by one. Finally, it was NAIA's turn. All traces of Brian disappear, and all we see is a charismatic, confident queen doing her thing.
Hello, welcome, good morning everybody, and welcome to another day of Butterboy Brunch Club. Welcome to our brunch.
Meeting NAIA was great, but I was also interested to know Brian a bit more, so I volunteered to be his driver for the day, as he took me to some of his favorite places in QC.
This
is carpool karaoke.
Oh, I love it. This is James Corden. And I put the seatbelt on. Safety first tayo.
If I was someone that had no idea about the drag industry or about drag in general, what is it?
Well, drag is performance. Typically it's understood as female impersonation. It is mostly done by gay men, but now drag can be done by everyone. So it's pretty much just gender performance. You know, you put on a persona.
Yeah.
And my persona is NAIA. So there's that transformation aspect, there's a performance aspect, you know. It kind of changes you. It's hard to describe if you haven't experienced it firsthand, honestly. You look in the mirror and it's not you anymore, and that's drag for me, honestly.
So when you do drag, do you feel like it's almost like you're putting on a character? do you become like a completely different person, or is it heightens who you are?
I think it's more of the latter. I think it's not a total transformation. Like Brian and NAIA are two separate people. I think they learn from each other, and it's not just like I suddenly turn into NAIA.
Correct.
I'm still
You.
Brian inside.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just a more fabulous presentation, and it changes you. That's what I'm saying. It really changes you. It changes how you act. When you have the nails on, you start doing these things, and it's fun. Oh my god, you should try that. That should be your next video.
I am naturally a very like shy and introverted person.
Really?
So I feel like if I would do it though, I feel like it would be for me like putting on a mask, and then because it looks and it feels so liberating as well, right?
That's great. Like a mask now.
Kind of like a costume you put on, all of a sudden you're a superhero drag persona that comes out. So I think that's the part that I find kind of really attractive, that when you guys are putting on a show, you can basically be, any version of yourself that you want to be.
Yes,
and the show and the people, the audience who watch are so receptive to
I
that,
love
right?
the Butterboy audience.
Yeah.
They're so good. And, they're like morning people. So it's different. It's really different because, we're used to the nightlife.
Correct.
And the spotlight and the smoke machines and all. But here in
The
Butterboy, it's like,
alcohol.
we will see you in the most sobering environment ever.
But drag
It's fun.
isn't necessarily kind of like, it's not an identity either, right? So
No.
maybe people who don't know, like it doesn't necessarily mean you identify as a woman or anything like that.
No.
right?
It doesn't have anything to do with. It's just gender play.
Okay.
Your identity is who you are as a person, and your drag persona is a persona. It's a performance you put on.
Correct.
But you do learn something from that. Honestly, drag is very liberating. I've learned a lot about Brian through NAIA.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who is NAIA, and how did you kind of come up with that persona?
I think whenever people ask me that, I'm like, oh, NAIA is like this girl who used to have a Disney contract, and then she came back to the Philippines, and now she's shedding off that like Disney persona. The whole
So you're
Miley
like-
Cyrus route. Can't
like
be tamed.
Ariana Grande,
Yeah.
Miley.
Oh, I'm not a Disney girl anymore.
I'm not a virgin. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do whatever. So she's a bit of a baby girl. She's a bit of a whore. I don't know.
That's why it's the name of the airport, because
Yes,
the
because
travel aspect.
people keep coming in.
Our first stop was Gubat. If you've been to Belair, you've probably heard of Kusina Luncian. The same owners wanted to open something in the metro and decided to call it Gubat. They brought with them the forest vibes of their original concept and their delicious Filipino kamayan fare. You have to try the Tapa Flakes rice meal with Paco salad. So I hope you're hungry.
Yes. Oh my god.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Salamat.
So why do you love this place?
College brings me back to my college days. As in, just hang out with friends. It was like an underground spot pa. Parang konti lang yung nakakaalam. Mostly students from the College of Fine Arts or teachers, cyclists, bikers, gano'n. And the food was very inviting. It was very simple then. Ito na yun.
Yeah. When you got into UP, did you think you would come out of UP, like getting into drag? And was this ever kind of like something
No,
you
this was not.
prepared for?
No, this was not something I was ready for. I mean, if I tell myself like 10 years ago, oy, by the way, ito yung gagawin mo in 2022, 23 na pala. Oh my God, I wouldn't believe you. But I kind of just went with the flow. In UP, I did everything that I could. I did orgs, I did council, I did a lot of extracurriculars, not a lot of curriculars. Pero nag-enjoy ko siya. And one of those things I was doing was like looking for good places to hang out, chill. Gubat was one of them.
And what was supposed to be the path after college?
Well, I entered UP, biology yung course ko. I wanted to be a doctor, as every good child.
Now you can play a doctor if you want.
Now, NAIA is all I need.
Yeah.
I also did prod for a while. So I was just doing literally everything that I wanted to. Until I settled with, I'm gonna do what I want. And the pandemic happened. I had no source of income, no way. I mean, ABS-CBN was shut down. There were no jobs anywhere. I lost my job that I had just applied for.
No.
So parang, what do I do? What do I do? Just did makeup. I literally did makeup. It sounds so vapid, but no, really.
But didn't you freak out in terms of like, oh no, what's kind of like what's next for the drag scene? Because you didn't know. Would you be able to do shows? Did you do like?
Yeah.
Was there such a thing as webcam shows or something?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes, they're called
I need to
FB
hear
live
this.
shows.
How did that go?
We did FB live shows. Oh my god, Erwan. So, what we had is you go live on Facebook, and then you pin your Gcash number there. Ding! And we'll
Incredible.
perform for you, and you can request for any song, and
And
I'll
it
perform
worked.
it for you. And it worked for a while.
Wow,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So when did you realize then this could be my career? Like this is what I want to do. Did you have like a revelation at one point? Was it a certain show that you did? You were like, oh, I really want to do this full time.
Honestly, well, not really. I kind of just kept. I never said no to any opportunity to do drag. No matter how shitty the pay was, I'd be like, okay, I'll just show up and show out. And then I joined whatever competition I could or whatever workshop I could. I still have a lot to learn, but I've done a lot already. I mean, I won a TV show.
Yeah.
Hello. But that's the fun thing about doing drag, you know. It's constant growth, always challenging yourself. What more can I do? Ano pa ba? Ano pa ba? Ano pa bang idea? And, you know, drag queens are artists, you know. We don't. Before the pandemic, I was just a backup dancer in Nectar for some of the queens. Just be the guy who carries them and whatever.
Okay.
But that was like, oh, I want to be the queen. Like, I want to be the one who's being held up.
Correct.
You know? A lot of it is like, you really have to want it.
Yeah.
So weird to see drag is like funding my lifestyle right now. Which I'm very, very grateful for. But there's still a lot to be improved in the drag scene here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
You know, it's still it's a huge community. It's growing and growing every single day, and now it's becoming more mainstream. A lot more audiences are willing to pay to watch drag shows. So it's great.
Do you feel like it's way more kind of like accepted, normalized? Because I'm pretty sure we look back 20 years ago. It must have never been kind of like too easy because some people might still kind of have stigmas and everything
Oh,
like
definitely.
that.
Well, that's why we always have to like thank those who came before us, because they took the brunt of it. They had to deal with all of the bullshit that right now I can walk on the street and maybe not get harassed. I don't know. But before, you really needed to have like the bravado
Correct.
to
The
do
courage.
drag because you know it was even frowned upon in the gay community. It wasn't a cool thing. You know, right now it's a cool thing. Oh, you're a drag queen. That's so cool. Before, kasi parang it's it's kind of like
Peachy.
it's like femphobia.
Correct.
Where okay, it's okay if you're gay, but you can't be,
Correct.
bading.
Yeah.
And what more if you were like impersonating women pa, diba? So the Golden Gays, they were also doing a lot
Pivotal
of
in
drag
that.
and doing a lot of impersonation performances. Oh my gosh, because of them, we're able to do these things out in broad daylight, and no one would bat an eyelash. It's similar to a lot of drag queens and queer folk in general, where we don't exactly have the prettiest childhoods or teen years, especially when we're starting to explore more about our sexuality or what we like.
Especially with that generation of parents.
Yeah,
right?
oo. Well, the thing is, that generation naman, they can learn if they're willing.
Yeah, definitely.
So my parents eventually learned, and now I'm a drag queen. So
It's fully.
it's like fully like
there.
100.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like my relationship with my parents.
Nice.
We had our live graduation rites noong 2022, and I actually did mine in drag. I was in full drag. I was like,
How did most people react to it?
they were like, slay, rumampa ako, and they were clapping.
Nice, okay.
Because I felt so gorgeous. I was like, oh. And the outfit I was wearing was graduation gift ng mom ko sa akin. Pinatahi namin sa designer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, everything, the works, mama.
How do you deal with that newly born responsibility or inspiration that you're giving kind of younger queers?
Well, parang drag is inherently inspiring anyway. For a lot of people, drag could be their escape. Drag could be that one thing that saves them from, total demise. And it sounds really OA right now.
But it's true.
I've met a lot
Yeah,
of queens.
100%.
I mean, I've met a lot of audience members na talagang iiyak sila sa amin na drag saved my life. And that's true because the joy that you get from a drag performance and a drag performer doing their thing, natutuwa ka naman talaga. So, I'm just so happy for them. I'm so happy for them. Happy for you. Thank you.
2019 when you started deciding, okay, I want to be a drag queen, and then pandemic, and then making it to Drag Den. What was that feeling when you kind of were thinking about doing this first reality TV show?
Oh, I was so scared. I was so nervous because
Sure.
I didn't have shit. I didn't have anything. I mean, I had a few wigs on me. Less, like maybe I had 5, and I hardly had any costumes. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something that makes me like nervous or scared almost. I cannot do it and just be like chill, but I think that's where the growth is, where you feel pressured to do better.
Right.
And to better yourself then. That's the effect of a competition. Diba? You want to always put your best foot forward. But outside of that, grabe, I grew so much from that decision. Just that decision to join.
Yeah.
When I said, okay, I'm gonna audition. Let's see. And then I got called back. Oh, okay, they're serious. Okay, you like it. Okay. Oh, I'm one of the cast now, officially. Shit, I gotta get ready. Ganon.
Next stop was pop-up in Katipunan for some drinks. This spot is a hotbed for college students. It's also known to throw lots of parties and put up some drag shows from time to time. So you have performed here?
Yes, I have performed here, right here, dito mismo.
And how crazy does the crowd go?
Oh, it was fun. It was a free show, so we had a lot of fans here, young fans, and you know, the students who can't usually afford to go to drag shows.
From your story, this is something that started for you as a passion. Like you're saying, as a kid, you loved makeup, and that's how you started.
Yes.
Exact same thing happened to me, where what I was super passionate about ended up becoming
What you're doing.
what I'm doing,
Yes.
which is amazing. It's a huge privilege, but it comes with moments of, is this crossing a line?
Yeah.
Will I love this forever?
You know what? I try not to give too much thought. I try not to feed that part of my brain that's telling me you're not good enough. You know. I just look back at the fans again. So, how do you see me? I want to see me from your point of view. Sabi ni Ariana Grande. So I want to see, and that's when I get my power back. Like, okay, you know what? You can still be an inspiration to others. Your story is something worth hearing. Your journey is something that a lot of young queer kids can relate to.
So you said a while ago, drag queens love the attention, which I understand, but I think that's overshadowing the fact that you also like to make people happy.
Oh yeah.
So what is, if someone comes to one of your shows and see you performs, what is something that you want everyone to kind of leave with?
I just want them to feel this innate sense of joy. Not because of what they're seeing per se, but because they see someone who's doing something that they love and they're doing it well. And how much effort I'm putting into this drag thing that I'm doing. It's easy to just like view it as something so shallow. Like, oh, it's pretty much, it's a gay guy playing dress up.
Right.
But it's so much more than that. There's so much deep thinking that's involved. There's so much mental,
It's like self-consciousness and
yes, to reach that confidence that you need to project when you're in drag.
Yeah.
You know, so it's also faking it till you make it in a way. But I'm the shit. You have to just keep repeating that until it becomes the truth.
I feel like that's probably for me the most inspiring thing. You're very rarely kind of put in front of people who are just unapologetically themselves and laying it out so vulnerably in front of a random audience who sometimes, most of the time, they've never met before.
Yes.
That's something you could say, oh, you're doing that on camera, but I can edit this and make myself look really good, right? But when you're doing it live, it's completely different. So that's why hats off to what you guys do. It's amazing.
I'm so happy for people who can see or come to a drag show, a live drag show. Iba yung magic of seeing it
Correct.
right in front of you. Just having more spaces where drag can exist is so important. Yeah, ito, pop-up, suddenly you have a lot of drag performances here. And lungga din siya ng mga baby drag queens. Dito sila tumatambay. That's the generation that you want to inspire and influence,
Correct.
because they're the ones who are gonna make the world a better place in a way.
To cap off the day, Brian and I decided to do a quick stop at his alma mater, the UP Diliman campus, to go down memory lane.
I entered 2013. I left 2020.
7 years?
7 years.
Oh, wow.
Delayed as fuck. Fun.
What was the main delay? Or just you
No,
couldn't
because I
figure
was
out?
biology first.
So you switched.
And then I
okay.
shifted late.
And then you shifted to
Tumasok.
drag.
And then I shifted to this drag thing that I'm doing.
So do you get nostalgic when you go here?
Yeah, super. Oh, I super miss the campus. Just the campus. I don't miss anything else.
I think the idea that your future is open wide ahead of you is kind of what makes college life so
Yeah.
attractive, right?
And then you get into the workforce.
When you get to my age, when you're old like me, you'll look back through these years and be like,
You'll
those
miss
were
it.
actually really good years. And then
It's
when
just
you're in
natural.
UP, there's this like almost innate, fiery, political,
Yeah, because everyone's
kind of like
like that.
fire, right?
Everyone's like that. And
Did you participate in those
yes,
kinds
I was
of
very,
orgs?
very active. I was a counselor ng student council.
Okay.
I was very active with the rallies and all of those educational discussions. I was holding them too. I was attending. Yes.
Making
Yes.
life harder for yourself.
You don't join. You don't go to UP and like expect not to be challenged. You want to challenge everything, even your core beliefs, your values, diba? And
Correct.
UP really shaped how I think
Yeah.
as Brian. Therefore, as NAIA, diba? Napupulit ko din yun eh. Nagagamit ko rin mga ideas na yun in my drag, you know. And you know, it's core. It's not something that you can remove.
Yeah.
From
And I
someone.
remember you mentioning that drag is kind of like it's political speech in a way.
Yes, actually, just the act of doing drag is so political already, because you know you're defying the gender roles and
Yeah.
shit like that, and
Kind of making a stand.
oh, because you're cross-dressing and you're making a statement, and you dress in a way that commands attention.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that attention that you're, you know, being given, diba? You try to use it for the greater good,
Correct.
you know,
Create
connect
positivity.
and raise it. Yes. Raise awareness for issues, or use your drag as a platform for something bigger than yourself, diba? Your advocacies. It's kind of, oh my god, we're speaking like beauty queens now.